The idea for African Community goes back to President William Tubman of Liberia, who made the call in 1964. A subsequent agreement was signed between Ivory Coast, Guinea, Liberia and Sierra Leone in February 1965. But this came to nothing. In April 1972, General Gunn of Nigeria and General Yedma of Togo relaunched the idea, drew up proposals and toured 12 countries to make it happen. A meeting was held at Lom, in Togo, from 10 to 15 December 1973. In 1975, 15 countries met in Lagos, and Treaty of Lagos was signed. The founding members of ECOWAS includes Benin, Burkina Faso, Ivory Coast, Gambia, Ghana, Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, Liberia, Mali, Mauritania, Niger, Nigeria, Senegal, Sierra Leone, and Togo. 2 years later, Cape Verde joined in. But due to conflicting opinions, Mauritania withdrew its membership in 1999, dropping the total number back to 15 countries.
ECOWAS aims to promote cooperation and integration in economics, maintain and enhance economic stability, social and cultural activity, ultimately leading to the establishment of an economic and monetary union for the members in ECOWAS.
It also aims to raise the living standard of its people, maintain and enhance economic stability, foster relationships among each other, and contribute to the progress and development of the African continent.
ECOWAS integration policies and programs are influenced by the prevailing economic conditions in its member countries. They need to take the principal provisions of the AEC Treaty into account and relevant developments of the international scene.
One of the objectives of ECOWAS is to remove conflict and restore peace and stability in the region. This is why they got the military force known as the ECOWAS Standby Force, which they help to restore peace and stability and remove the conflict.
The Development Center promotes women's welfare by improving their standards of living with education, business opportunities, and lowering negative gender issues.
ECOWAS brought peace to troubled member states of the community, including Liberia, Sierra Leone, Guinea-Bissau and Ivory Coast. ECOWAS managed to avoid possible wars in member states, and there is no active war going on in the region. ECOWAS region is the only region in Africa with a visa-free regime across national boundaries, and the right to establishment for citizens in any member state. Because of ECOWAS, 30% of the population of West Africa can access energy at all times. The West African Gas Pipeline Project produce and channel natural gas from Nigeria to other member states of community, including Benin, Togo and Ghana. The development of road transport and transits are being financed by the World Bank, the African Development Bank and the European Union. ECOWAS has also received a grant of €63.8 million from the EU, part of which will go into the construction of 5 joint border posts along major corridors.
If you talk about the West African countries, particularly ECOWAS members, there are a lot of challenges that the countries they face, especially the main 3 challenges is the first one is poverty, the second one is conflict and civil war, and the third one is cultural differences.
So when we talk about the cultural differences, what I realize is these countries are colonized by the Portuguese and French, right?
Yeah.
So there will be different culture and different influences on them, right?
Yeah, there are cultural differences because they have been colonized for many years, and the French, and even the language differences also. So these people, this is why this side conflict.
Most countries they use the French language, right?
Yeah, most of them, the majority. So the other one, I think, war conflict. There is certain countries, for example, like Mali and Nigeria, and some of them, there is ongoing conflict, especially the recent terrorist attacks and kidnapping, civil war, dictatorship.
There is also human trafficking, drug trafficking. Their crime rate is too high.
Very high. So these are all challenges actually this country is facing. And the most important one, I think, is poverty.
Yeah, of course.
Why? Because 11 out of 15 countries, they are among least developed countries. Means they are having the lowest economic status in the world, and
This is about because of their dictatorship, right? Because
no economic policy and stuff like that. Because if you count all these 15 countries, there is 300 million population. So out of these 15 countries, only 4 of them they have quite stable economics, like quite developing economics. So there's also an economic problem there. So this is why if there is a poverty, so the level of crime will increase. People try to do drug trafficking and many other stuff.
their poverty is because of their dictatorship, right? The dictator, they just want to do whatever they want to do, right?
Yeah, this is why dictatorship there. This is why the second biggest problem in that country is war and civil war. And talk about, for example, if you talk about Sani Abacha, he was the previous dictator of Nigeria. He was saying that my country, me and my country, we have the absolute power over Africa. So this is why they were violating the human rights and stuff like that. So we can say there is a conflict problem in this country. When we were talking about the conflict and civil war in these countries, ECOWAS also they have their own military power. It's called ECOWAS Standby Force. And ECOWAS Standby Force, they are a kind of military. They will send to those conflict area to solve the problem. But beside that, ECOWAS also they took some measurements in order to create some peace between conflicting parties. So through that, through those treaties and peace agreements, they managed to decrease the level of conflict in some places. But still, they need to improve more because the level of conflict is still there, and there is still conflict problem and civil war among some certain countries there.
We were talking about the challenges. How about the contribution of ECOWAS to Malaysia?
I think for this part, let others to talk about it. Our sisters, they are preparing in the lab to talk about the contribution of these countries to Malaysia.
Okay, man, let's go.
Contribution to ECOWAS, do you have any idea? Wait. Do you know what I found? Our former Prime Minister, Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, had mentioned about ECOWAS before. Oh, really? What actually he said? He said that Western Africa and Malaysia still has a lot of room to expand in agriculture activities. Do you know that? Agriculture activities? Yeah. This is interesting. Yeah. But what kind of agriculture activity that they involve? Actually, other than palm oil, coconut, rubber, cocoa, and they were expert in export the business rather than import the business. Oh. Yeah. Since Malaysia is an expert in these activities, Africa need our help. Wow, it's really interesting. You know that? Yeah. Can you show us? Okay, this one. Oh, it means that when Africa and Malaysia they are working together, it means that Malaysia can provide Africa with the skill and expertise in order to expand the agricultural activities for Africa. Oh, it means that Africa really need our help to expand their business, especially in agriculture. Is it what you mean? Because actually Malaysia is one of the country that contribute more with Africa in this kind of business. Do you know that?
Yeah, so more work for Malaysia.
No wonder that Malaysia expert in import and export business, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Sandabi is one of the local business organization in Malaysia, and we all know that Sandabi is one of the biggest company in Malaysia and the listed company in stock exchange, isn't it? Yeah. So here stated that Sandabi is developing 200 hectares of palm oil plantation in Sierra Leone.
Wow, a lot.
Is there
200,000 hectares.
2,000 hectares. Oh, I'm wrong here. Okay, 2,000 hectares. 200,000 hectares of palm oil plantation in Sierra Leone.
Yeah, around in Malaysia they have a lot of Sandabi
everywhere. So Sierra Leone, we all know that is one of the country under ECOWAS, isn't it?
Yeah. Because of that, our Prime Minister really interested in this business?
It's stated here in 2008. They already work together. Yes, you see that they had started with 10,000 hectares to plant the palm oil in 2008. What I just say now is proven, isn't it? It means that they already have the relationship before.
How much was the investment?
The investment, I think it's a lot. If you can imagine 200,000 hectares, it means that a big amount of land and will involve a lot of money. And here stated that they invest amount $800 million.
$800 million, that's a lot.
But for some maybe it's small because this is a big company.
Yeah. Hold on. 800 million is not that much for Sandabi. Did you know that they invested 3.1 billion US dollars?
Really?
Billion? Yes, $1 billion in Liberia for the same agricultural activity.
Oh, another ECOWAS country?
Liberia, yeah? Yeah, Liberia.
For how long?
15 years.
15 years.
It's already 1, so I'm really hungry. Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
Let's go.
The Economic Community of West African States is the major regional economic unit of West Africa. It was envisioned as a platform to promote cooperation and integration, in order to raise the living standard of its people. Regional economic units have become important for the development, growth, and stability of nation-states. Thus, a plan for sustainable development through economic integration is beneficial for the nation of West Africa. Factors, such as economic of scale, complementarily efficient use of resources, export-oriented internationalize, peace and security, have been widely viewed as the driving forces for integration.